Coming up in news tonight, Prime Minister Perry Christie takes note of the instability within the F&M and gives an update as to when the election is likely to be called. This as F&M candidate and former Senator Dr. Dwayne Sands insists all is well within the party. Organizers of the We March Bahamas say they're considering legal action after their request to occupy Rawson Square was denied. Plus, we'll tell you how event organizers are gearing up for tonight's New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade. Welcome to Our News. I'm Dana Smith. Happy New Year and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight. One man is dead and 3 others in hospital after a gunman pulled up and fired several shots into the car they were seated in. The incident took place last night at an apartment complex at Sandilands Village Road around 11:15. Chief Superintendent Clayton Fernander was at the scene.
4 adult males were seated in a vehicle which was parked in the lot of apartment duplex just behind me when a Nissan type vehicle pulled up. A lone gunman exited that vehicle and fired several shots into that vehicle.
Fernandez said all 4 of the men inside the car were shot.
1 died on scene and the 3 other individuals were taken and transported to hospital by ambulance.
Fernandez said police are following leads but do not yet know the motive for this latest murder. He appealed to anyone with any information to come forward.
We are again appealing to members of the public in this general area to see if they could assist and whatever information they may have to bring some speedy closure in respect to this matter.
Anyone with information about this or any other crime, no matter how small or insignificant the tip may seem, is asked to contact police anonymously at 919-911 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Although the Free National Movement has experienced its fair share of instability and even hatred, it would be a mistake for the PLP to focus on the difficulties affecting that party, according to Prime Minister Perry Christie. He said in the upcoming new year, his plan is to convince the electorate the PLP is a stable organization with the right strategies to improve the nation. Christie also gave an update on when the next general election will be called, suggesting that could happen as early as next month.
I will argue that if they have not demonstrated the kind of stability that is necessary for a country like the Bahamas, that they have to work through some major personal issues that they have, where sometimes you hear expressions of hatred coming out of the various camps.
Speaking to Our News on the sidelines of this past Monday's Junkanoo Parade, Christie noted opposition leader Loretta Butler Turner currently has a difficult job given her party has excluded her and is prepared to take further action against her.
The question and the challenge she has is whether she will have the capacity to run candidates in the general election. And it very much appears that the F&M continues to move along as the major opposition entity in the country, and not Mrs. Butler, who has the title and the office.
Christie said undoubtedly the F&M will make every effort to come together, notwithstanding what appears to be an intractable split, but ultimately that is a matter for them and not the PLP.
I think it would be a mistake for the PLP to focus on the difficulties now experienced by the F&M. I think we must focus on being able to satisfy and convince the Bahamian people that we are a stable organization, that we have policies and programs that will benefit them, that we have particular strategies that we're going to employ to assist them to have a better way of life, to have normalcy restored in their own lives. And so therefore the focus for the Progressive Liberal Party must be on the government and what it's doing to assist the country in its development.
Christie said he's going to be approaching 2017 with the clear intention of getting as many people registered as quickly as possible and ensuring voters know where the boundaries are. It's at that point, Christie said, the country can have certainty as to when the next general election will take place. Asked when he plans on calling the election, Christie suggested that hinges on the number of people who register, but pointed pointed to February as a possible deadline as to when that decision could be made.
Soon as it is practicable to do so, meaning that elections are determined by the amount of people who are registered, and we have a very fair idea of those who are eligible to register. We want to give every Bahamian the opportunity to register and every Bahamian the opportunity to vote. And we continue to tell people, you're not going to be able to participate in democracy in the way you should if you're not registered. And so we anticipate that in this coming year, people will move rapidly, quickly to get registered. We're adding to the resources. We're giving them a greater capacity to deploy out, to go to businesses and register people in banks and businesses. And so I suspect that you're going to find the numbers will look much better as we go into January and most certainly into February, which gives the Prime Minister the option then to look at the numbers and decide when is the most propitious time to call the elections.
Free National Movement candidate for Elizabeth, Dr. Dwayne Sands, says despite a split in the official opposition and the leader of a third party representing the opposition in the Senate, he agrees with Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis that the infighting within the party is officially over. According to Sands, the FNM is now fully focused on the goal of becoming the next government of the Bahamas.
We are going to have it together. And so, yes, many people have stopped me. They've asked, you guys straight? Do you have it together? You all got it together yet? You finished with all this drama? The answer is we've taken every single comment to heart, and it will make the FNM a better organization.
Sands says he encourages Bahamians and most importantly the voting public to remain focused on the FNM in the next few months to truly see the change and to see they are ready for leadership.
This has been a rocky road. This has been a tough road. And I think it speaks to all of the various challenges in the country and the many divergent voices that say, let's go this way, let's go the other way. I can reassure Bahamians and the voting public that the Free National Movement is working very, very hard.
Organizers of We March Bahamas say Cabinet's recent denial of their request to occupy Rawson Square is an infringement on their constitutional right, and as a result, they're exploring legal action. Jasmine Brown reports.
On Wednesday, founder of We March Bahamas, Renard Henfield, shared on Facebook a letter from the Cabinet Office denying the group permission to occupy Rawson and Parliament Squares, as they did back on November 25th. The letter explained that their march conflicts with another event planned for that day.
Lawyers are looking at it. We do feel that it's an infringement of constitutional rights. We don't think that the Prime Minister or the Cabinet wants to test what has been a policy that has been observed and respected, a practice, that you apply for the right to occupy a public space, that you apply for the right to march on a public street.
Bostwick says march organizers are simply looking to execute their constitutional rights and will do whatever necessary to ensure that happens.
We're prepared to test them at law if necessary.
PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts recently said his party will organize a march to rival that one, but he did not give details on where the PLP's march would be.
We don't want to flatter ourselves, but it all seems like an attempt to frustrate the will of the people, you know, and that a government would frustrate the will of the people in a government that created a day to celebrate the will of the people. That's the whole point of Majority Rule Day. From what I heard, the arguments being led is to celebrate the collective will of the people. And the government wants to frustrate that. It's beyond a poetic irony. It's a tragedy. It should not be.
Meantime, both Henfield and Bostwick says organizers are still deciding the route for the January 10th march. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
When Our News returns, the New Year's Day Janganu Parade starts in just a few hours. We'll tell you how organizers are getting ready for the big event. Stay tuned.